Severe storms in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng have claimed 14 lives, no less. In KwaZulu-Natal, most of the deaths occurred in and around Durban. The cost of the damage from this week's storms expected to run into millions. Government and disaster officials have already begun assessing the damage, and massive cleanup operations are underway in affected areas.
It lasted only a few hours, but its impact was strongly felt. Mayhem on the streets and the highways as strong rains and heavy winds swept through the city, leaving death and destruction in their wake, with an unknown number of people still missing.
Yesterday's storm was quite unprecedented in its ferocity. We have since the early hours of today been taking stock of yesterday's mega storm that has wreaked untold damage on our communities, and to devise a way forward in our joint efforts as local and provincial government to begin with cleanup operations. Our purpose here today is also to assure the communities that our government is on top of its game in our endeavor to minimize the impact of the storm on our residents and businesses. Yesterday's storm was quite unprecedented in its ferocity.
By this morning, 42 schools were forced to close down. 8 hospitals damaged, from roofs being blown away to heavy flooding. And 6 theatres were affected at one of Durban's busiest hospitals, King Edward. The damage here has been estimated at 25 million rand.
There are other theatres in other wings of the hospital that could then be a good backup. So we may just be down on 3 theatres for now as the situation stands.
Elsewhere in the city, countless homes were destroyed and scores of people displaced. Over 500 residents are still without electricity, while main roads are still blocked by fallen trees and debris. The city is still counting the costs.
And it's really a question of the size of the damage, the size of the cost being beyond the current fiscus capability. And then that goes to national for declaration and an allocation from national. There's no disaster fund sitting to be allocated at the municipal or provincial level.
While government is yet to make a disaster declaration, for residents and businesses which bore the brunt, this is said to be one of the worst storms to have hit the city in decades. I am Mhlongo, SABC News, Durban.